Over the last couple of days, I told you what the top 5 worst games and worst movies of 2023 were. I fed you a complete meal of knowledge. 2023 had high highs and low lows. It was a year that pumped out some absolute classics and some assics. Like, I'm talking some true turbo ass trash. In both categories, we saw some horrible movies and some horrible games, and I already told you what the 5 worst were in each category. So now it's only fair I tell you what the best were in each category. But I'm not going to do a top 5 best games and movies list. I'm just going to tell you what the singular best game and best movie of 2023 was, because fuck you. I really just want to talk about the best game and best movie, and why settle for anything but the best? If you're not first, you're last, am I right? So let's go ahead and start with the best movie. I talked about it on stream a little bit, so I'll show you 2 clips there before diving a bit deeper. But this is one that I don't think anyone is expecting me to say, but I'm telling you right now, this is the scientifically correct take for the best movie of 2023. Just ask the big man upstairs. Talk to God tonight and ask him if Charlie was right about the best movie of 2023, and you're going to get a resounding yes. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do a top 5 best games and movies of last year. I just did worst. So here, I'll give you my best movies of last year real quick. Godzilla Minus One, I actually think is my movie of the year. I think Godzilla Minus One is the best film that came out in 2023. I still constantly think about it. I still talk about it. Was actually talking about it today with Jackson on the podcast. This movie is the best Godzilla movie they've ever made, and it is incredible. Like, even if you don't like Godzilla, it is still so good. So good. So I think this is my movie of the year for 2023. And then right behind that would be Oppenheimer. I can even give you some of the wild, wacky numbers, because I just talked about them today. This movie was filmed on a roughly $15 million budget, and right now it's done $81 million at the box office, and you would have no idea that this is a $15 million budget movie. This just goes to show how much bloat there is in Hollywood blockbusters, because for $15 million, this competes with $100 million movies visually. Hands down, easy. It's not like, this doesn't look like a low-budget movie. Not a single goddamn scene in here looks low budget. So there is some fishiness afoot with these fudged numbers in Hollywood, because this movie for 15 mil looks as good as $100 million movies. Now I know some of you might be rolling your eyes like, oh, a giant monster movie being the best of 2023, talk about the taste of a child. And you couldn't be more wrong. This movie is so much more than just like a giant monster destruction movie. It has so much to it. It is so deep. I think it's probably the most emotional movie of the year. Like, maybe not as emotional as Oppenheimer, to be fair, but it is still very close, and it offers so much. This is one of the few films I watched where I was so excited by it that I actually came and made a whole rant just going crazy over how good it was. Usually if I make a rant video on something I watch, it's about it being terrible. This was about it being terrific. The movie accomplishes a feat that science deemed impossible. They actually made you care about something that wasn't just Godzilla going around fucking things up. You actually get emotionally invested in the human characters because they were extremely well written with a really compelling narrative. It's the first time in any movie of this genre that I can recall actually getting excited when Godzilla wasn't on screen. And when Godzilla shows up, your jaws on the floor are like, no, don't hurt them, please, God, no! Whereas in every other giant monster movie, the humans are just fucking cringe side characters that you just a snooze fest yawning through. You never really care. They're just kind of meat puppets to get stomped on. And you're cheering for Godzilla the whole time like, yeah, flip over that building. Oh yeah, he destroyed the hospital. Woo! Here, when old Godzilla starts stomping around, you're begging him to stop, panicked like, no, don't hurt him. Don't hurt these characters. I like them, please, no. And the acting performances are stellar, like actually extremely impressive. The visuals in the film are absolutely beautiful and at times breathtaking. So when Godzilla does show up and he's fucking flexing, slapping buildings over, tail blasting people, picking up trains and shit, and then, oh, good heavens, when he uses his atomic breath, it has never been cooler or more devastating. Like, the score of this film is incredible and the sound design is unbelievable. So when the atomic breath is used, it is so tense. It's so fucking tense. It'll have goosebumps on your goosebumps. This shit'll put hair on your chest instantly. Like everything this film set out to do, it nailed. It absolutely crushed it. On such a tight budget too, I can't believe what they were able to accomplish. I can't recommend this film enough, even if you hate Godzilla. If you're outside every day with like a picket sign Godzilla with an X through it, like boo Godzilla, boo, I still think you'd probably like this movie. I really do. This film transcends the giant monster movie genre. Like it's so much more than that. There's so much more meat on the bones here. It's so fucking solid. So yeah, that's 2023's best movie. So let's move on to 2023's best game. This is a really interesting one for me because objectively speaking, I think 2023's best game is Baldur's Gate. I agree with the Game Awards. It is Game of the Year. I think no matter how you spin it, what Baldur's Gate did is nothing shy of a masterpiece. Like an actual generational achievement with what Baldur's Gate 3 was able to produce here. But for me personally, the game I had the most fun with in 2023 was actually Tears of the Kingdom. So Tears of the Kingdom is basically just Breath of the Wild again, but with everything improved. It's a better Breath of the Wild, and I already fucking loved Breath of the Wild. As I said in my Moist Meter for Tears of the Kingdom, the only thing that holds this game back is the platform that it's on. The Nintendo Switch is so embarrassingly weak and wimpy that Tears of the Kingdom I don't think could reach its full glory and full potential. But even in spite of that, it created one of the most memorable gaming experiences I've had in 2023. You could get so creative with everything. You truly had unlimited freedom with the new mechanics it offered, with being able to build pretty much anything you could imagine. Like, I still remember all the viral videos of people making fucking Gundams, like working Gundams in Tears of the Kingdom. It offered so much creative expression. Like, you could solve all kinds of puzzles in a million different ways. There was never one right way of playing the game, and I loved that about Tears of the Kingdom. I still remember how long I spent researching and theory crafting different intricate traps I could use to kill mobs in the game. It's just so fun. Like, I do think it's probably the most fun Zelda game they've made so far. Again, my main gripe is just the limitations of the Switch, really. Also, I did criticize the writing a bit, but that's not the focal point of the game. Plus, the writing did always end up getting you to a spectacular cinematic moment, so I could excuse some silly repeated moments throughout the story. Overall, I just think Tears of the Kingdom was the most fun I had with a single game in 2023. But as I mentioned, I do think Baldur's Gate 3 is the deserved game of the year in from an objective technical standpoint, perhaps. But for me personally, my 2023 game of the year was Tears of the Kingdom. So if you haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 or Tears of the Kingdom, you can't go wrong with either one or both. They're both extraordinary, and honestly, 2023 was an incredible year for gaming in general. I know I said I'm not doing a top 5, but I'm also going to quickly shout out Alan Wake 2. I waited so long for Alan Wake 2, and I was not disappointed. I think Alan Wake 2 is another absolute fucking banger of a game. So yeah, that's the best game and the best movie of 2023 in my opinion. And yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.
This episode was brought to you by Crunchyroll.
Initiating moisture.
Welcome back to the Moisties. This will be the final award we give out this year in the 2020 season. This is going to the 5 best video games of the year. This was an extremely competitive category this year. It was cutthroat competition because there were just a lot of bangers that came out this year. In previous years, you had millions of stinkers to choose from, some real garbage, asshole, dog shit games, but this year, most of the games that came out were pretty solid. It was extremely difficult to choose only 5 because there were so many great games to pick from. It led to fights at the Moist Meter headquarters. I'm talking bloodbath, bloody fights, tits, rock and roll, and gore all over the place as we were fighting amongst ourselves, trying to decide what 5 games deserved this spot. So, I think we finally settled on the correct decision here, so we'll start with number 5, Nioh 2. Nioh 2 is a game that again flew pretty under the radar, unfortunately, but I think it's a game that I think fans of Souls-like games can really appreciate. It takes that genre and expands it to a really high degree of depth, and replayability. There are so many builds you can have in this game, it would blow your brain out of your asshole. There is so much to do, to find, to work towards in this game. You can constantly mix it up. Ninjutsu builds, giant axe build, naked spinning, great hammer build. Like, there's just so much fucking shit you can do with Nioh 2, and so much versatility that it will never get stale. It is always fresh. The game is extremely challenging until you start to make yourself beyond broken, and I love that they allow you to go there. You grind for gear, and there's so much different gear to grind for with all kinds of rolls on it. Set bonuses that help you cater to your build. You can mix and match different sets for different bonuses depending on how many of the same set you have. I could talk for hours about how much there is to do in Nioh 2. I absolutely love it. I love Nioh 1 and I love Nioh 2 just as much. I was very happy. It wasn't a disappointment. It really is just an extremely fun game to constantly min-max a broken, overpowered build. And I just can't sing the praises of Nioh 2 enough. I think it's a game series that gets overlooked all the time, but I don't think it deserves that because it really does just offer so much. And especially in a climate like today where everyone loves to grind for shit, this game has plenty to grind for to keep you coming back. And it's not like the grind is boring like Destiny 2. The grind in Nioh 2 is fun because the combat is so fucking fun. Being able to change stances and the mid combo and just go crazy with all kinds of DPS popping off. It's just wonderful. It really is. Now moving on to number 4, we have Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, I really liked. There were a few things I didn't like about it, like some of the quests I felt really kind of dragged and were a lot of just kind of going from point A to point B and doing the same things over and over, but it never detracted from my overall experience of the game. The combat, the combat was so fucking smooth. For a moment there, I thought I was transported back into the Bushido era and was going wild for the honor of my family. I felt like a fucking samurai. I felt like an absolute badass killing machine, peeling scalps off of foreheads with my blade, chopping people in half, ripping dicks off of enemies. Like, it felt incredible. The combat was absolutely marvelous. The stealth I didn't use all that much, but when I did, I actually still did kind of enjoy the stealth, and I'm not really the stealth kind of gamer. I typically prefer to enter my fights with a cigar in my mouth, clenching my blade, ready to rip the intestines out of a man's stomach. But when I did slow down the pace with stealth, I still enjoyed it. There's just a lot to enjoy when it comes to the combat, and it's not just an action game where it excels. It has a beautiful narrative. I loved the story, and it had one of my favorite conclusions of the year. I honestly cannot... I'm not going to spoil anything, of course, but I cannot be more satisfied with how this game wraps up and what you as the player get to decide. I think it was absolutely beautiful. Visually, the game was stunning. The narrative had me glued to it. You could even go out of your way to find some really cool ancient pieces of gear that had a cool narrative behind it and journey where you get to learn about somebody that had that in the past, and it feels good when you get it, and it makes your character much fucking stronger, and you get to change the way you play some of the combat a bit. There's just so much to like about the game. Yes, there were shortcomings, but it never detracted from my overall enjoyment of Ghost of Tsushima. Now moving on to number 3, we have Risk of Rain 2. Risk of Rain 2, one of the highest scores I've given on the Moist Meter this year, and for good reason. Risk of Rain 2 is so good. It's just so fucking good. I wasn't a fan of roguelikes until I played Risk of Rain 2. I went into Risk of Rain 2 telling the chat, hey, look, I'm not gonna like this game. I hope you guys know that right now, you fucking milk-drinking nerds forcing me to play Risk of Rain 2. I'm not gonna like it. I don't like roguelikes, and you can't change me. It's not a phase, Dad. I just don't like roguelikes. And then I hopped in Risk of Rain 2, and euphoria washed over me. My eyes had truly opened. I fucking fell in love with it. Risk of Rain 2 is such a fun game. There's so much to do. There's so many reasons to revisit Risk of Rain and change your shit around. Like, it is just so good. There's so fucking much to it. I have put so many hours into this game for like a week. I probably put like fucking 50 hours and 8 days into this game. Just constantly going back, going for God runs, God rolls, just going fucking wild, dick out in hand and ready to just take the world by storm. And when you finally do beat Risk of Rain's like main missions, now that keep in mind there is no like actually beating it, but when you do get through the final boss, oh my god, that feeling, indescribable. You have this really climactic boss battle that has so many moving parts to it. It's extremely challenging, really turns a boy into a man. complemented by a wonderful soundtrack that's just so intense. It's got you on the edge of your seat and you're feeling all these endorphins and all these hormones pumping throughout your body. It feels like you're going through puberty again during this boss fight. And then you finally beat it, and the payoff is all worth it. The struggle, you're rewarded, the achievement feels great, and the game is just so good. Risk of Rain 2, I think, is definitely one of the best roguelikes out there. So fun. And I think what the best part about Risk of Rain 2 is the diversity of the characters you can play as. In other roguelikes, the only thing that changes is some of the weapons, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. But in Risk of Rain 2, the entire gameplay dynamic changes depending on what character you pick. You can be a robot fucking swinging around like it's Attack on Titan and then fisting the enemies with like a charged turbo fist from across the map. You can fly across the map by charging your fist and just flying through the air. You can play as a little reptile spitting acid. Like, there's just a lot. You can play as a little robot shooting nails. Like, there's just so much that changes depending on the character you pick, which changes the whole game as a result. And I think that's the best part about it, really. And now we move on to number 2, Doom Eternal. I love Doom Eternal, that's no secret. During the Game Awards, I was pulling very hard for Doom Eternal, where it was robbed of multiple categories. The most criminal robbery I've ever seen was it not winning the best soundtrack of the year. I don't think it won that category. Like, are you fucking kidding me? The soundtrack in Doom Eternal from Mick Gordon, second to none. There's no equal. I don't even understand where the argument was. Yeah, Hades has a wonderful score as well, but it's got nothing on Mick Gordon and his masterpiece in the Doom Eternal soundtrack. Like, I don't know what was going on with that, but again, this isn't to just cry about the Game Awards. It's here to talk about why Doom Eternal is so good. Well, first, like I mentioned, that soundtrack absolutely bangs. It's going to really make you feel like a big, strong man ready to just blast the titties off of demons. And the gameplay. The gameplay in Doom Eternal is like no other games out there. It is fast-paced with a focus on skill-based combat FPS gameplay. Most FPSs are all about like playing slow and hiding behind cover, tossing a grenade over, yippee, aiming down sights to line up a shot and shoot a guy 2 times for him to die. Doom Eternal, none of that shit works. You are constantly moving around, picking up armor off the ground, switching weapons like a fucking madman depending on what you're fighting and how much ammo you have. And you're just going through tons of different weapons, primary, secondary fire, mixing and matching. You're throwing grenades to freeze some of the snakes, using the chainsaw to chainsaw enemies in half to get ammo and health and shield out of them. Oh my god, it's just chaotic. But it's controlled chaos, and it's all about how skilled you are at playing fast and playing in control. I played most of the game on Nightmare, and man, it was punishing. I had never been spanked so hard sometimes, but when I finally did squeak out the dubski over the room that I was struggling in, it felt amazing. It is just so fun. So many different demons and so many different ways of fighting them that you're going to constantly be banging your head against the wall sometimes, but in a good way. You'll be enjoying it for the most part. It's hard not to like the gameplay, I feel. You're just dashing around the map, shooting demons and blowing shit up. And you finally get to play fast and feel like a badass. And the game's narrative is cool too. I like the whole thing with demons and having to stop demons, and you're some like ultra-powered super Chad that's the only one capable of stopping the demons. I love that shit. It's just so much fun. I absolutely love Doom Eternal. I really do. And now you're probably asking yourself, how the fuck did Doom Eternal not win with all of these compliments you're tossing its way? And it's because we're giving the number 1 spot to Hades. Hades is another roguelite, but is yet again a completely different kind of roguelite that I think innovates in a lot of ways. The main thing I was super impressed with Hades was the depth of its story. There's a lot of writing to Hades. The gameplay is, of course, great, and we'll get into that in a moment, but one thing that really caught me by surprise was how invested I got in the characters of the world. Every character you talk to, you're going to be talking to a lot of them, has a very interesting contribution to make to the overall lore of the universe and their connection to your main protagonist. And it's always interesting to talk to them. You can even gift them nectar to learn more about them and be more friendly with them. And gifting them nectar also gets you special items that you can take into the rooms with you, the different levels. And there's just so much depth to it. And the narrative is what really caught me off guard, because I was expecting to just go in there and just pound some ass cheeks, going wild with some cool builds. And of course you can do that. But as you're doing it, you're getting a lot of information and exposition along the way that you can really appreciate if you stop and listen to it. And the characters, I think aesthetically are great. I think the game's art design is fucking beautiful. And the game is all about escaping from hell and trying to find your mother. And along the way, you're going to be dying a lot. You're going to be dying a fucking ton before you finally make your first successful escape. But every death you're learning, not only getting better at the game, but you're learning more about the characters. You're getting more information from them. Every death contributes to the narrative, and it's really cool. And it's really interesting and different. And then you get to the gameplay. The gameplay is so good. You're getting boons from the gods that are trying to help you escape from Olympus, and they're giving you all kinds of different abilities that completely change the way you're going to approach getting out of hell. You know, you can go into Hades using a shield. And there's different kinds of shields you can use as you continue to upgrade. I believe the strongest to be the Chaos Shield, where you charge across the map, blocking things, and then firing out your shield to do a ton of damage. And as you're collecting these boons, you can change the way you approach those things. Like maybe all of a sudden you're getting some Athena boons where you can deflect things, which is of course probably the best one in the game. And you dash and you're deflecting. So you can kind of change your builds based on the boons you're getting. And it's just, I don't know, I can't really say enough about how good the combat is. I think it's something you really have to play to appreciate the depth. It's just so rewarding. And I just love how each escape is different and you constantly can change the way that you try and get out of hell based on the random boons that you're getting along the way. There's just so much to like about Hades. I really do think it deserves the Game of the Year from the Moisties 2020. I think it absolutely earns the number one slot on this list. Even though I love Doom Eternal, I do believe Hades is probably just the better game, and a game that I think even more people could appreciate. It's great. I absolutely loved it, and I do encourage anyone curious to give it a try. So that concludes the Moisties for 2020. These were the 5 best games of the year. And there, like I said, it was really tough to choose these 5 because there was quite a few other games that I really fucking loved, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost Runner. Like there were a lot of other games that it made it really tough to come up with this list, but I am happy with these 5 games being on here. So yeah, that's about it. As most of you know by now, I'm a connoisseur when it comes to anime. I have a refined palate for the animated medium, and I get all of my anime needs from Crunchyroll. Like I'm watching Attack on Titan's final season right now on Crunchyroll, an absolute masterpiece of a show, by the way. Crunchyroll just has the largest selection of anime, and with Crunchyroll Premium, you get the highest quality of the animated, blow your mind, professionally subtitled. New episodes drop on Crunchyroll an hour after they air in Japan, so you're getting them quick, ad-free, and no hassle. It's very convenient, great service, so if you're interested in trying Crunchyroll, you can go to crunchyroll.com/Penguinz0 to get Crunchyroll ad-free for 14 days, or just click the link in the description below. That's crunchyroll.com/Penguinz0 to get Crunchyroll ad-free for 14 days. That's it. See ya.
Initiating moisture.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Moisties. Unfortunately, Jack Black wasn't available to host, so instead it's me, Charlie, and today we're looking at the 5 best games of 2019. Now, I know the Moist meter has become synonymous with real tough grading, like that fucking teacher that'll beat your ass and give you an F because you didn't put up a fight. But there is a lot of games, and a lot of movies as well, that we find to be truly extraordinary. We're tough because we want things to be good and we want them to improve. So let's hit it and shit it. Number 5, Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds is like no other game out there. It is truly, by all definitions, a unique game. That's a title that gets tossed around a lot, but Outer Wilds absolutely deserves that nomenclature because Outer Wilds does what pretty much no other game does. It fucking challenges the player to constantly be thinking. It's a game where the core mechanic involves getting yourself totally immersed in a beautiful system, these incredible worlds, and piecing together lore. And using that lore and all the new information that you find about all of these planets, who inhabited them, using all of that to solve puzzles and get your character progressing in the story and solving the dilemma that you find yourself in. It's a very slow game that's obviously not going to be for everyone, but if you can get yourself lost in the universe here, you're going to be rewarded with some incredible decisions, decisions being the wrong word, incredible writing decisions that were made, some fucking fantastic lore, beautiful planets that are a joy to explore and get lost in. It never really gets frustrating to get lost, by the way, because it's constantly just feeling like it's leading to a bigger eureka moment where you solve a puzzle or you use your gamer galaxy brain intelligence to, piece together these things that are happening that you're learning about. and it feels like everything is just so finely crafted with such attention to detail down to the very last rock. Like everything has a deeper meaning. You'll start looking at everything through the eyes of like a pretentious artist, the kind of people that look at a banana taped to a wall and say, yeah, I'll pay 150 grand for that. It means something impressive, I'm sure. Like in this game, if you see 6 rocks stacked in a formation that looks like an alligator, that might mean something potentially. Like there's just so much shit to find, discover, and explore that it leads itself to just being this incredible experience. Outer Wilds absolutely deserves the 5th spot on the list. Number 4, we have a game that's going to surprise a lot of you in its presence on this list, given how much shit I've talked about it. It's Apex Legends. Now, I've talked a lot of shit about Apex Legends, and it's because I love the fucking game so much. It was my favorite FPS game in years, but post-launch, they let it stagnate and die for like the better part of 5 months, where the only changes they'd make were one extra bullet in a magazine somewhere. We removed one tree next to the bunker to help with balancing issues. These trivial fucking garbage changes, and it just made the game get so stale and repetitive and just, for me, just fade out. But it's hard to not look back on Apex Legends positively with the 800 or so hours I put into it in the first 2 or 3 months of its presence in the Battle Royale genre. Apex Legends was a game that came into a genre I was already getting tired of, a genre that was getting oversaturated and stale, and it fucking came in and it breathed some new life into it. And the developers, in their defense, Respawn, has been putting more effort into keeping Apex fresh and updated, so I do respect that. They've been making a lot of recent efforts there. But what I'm saying is, initially it didn't have that. But the first 3 or so months, I was so engrossed in this game. I was playing it constantly. I wanted to be competitive. I wanted to be the best. And god damn it, I was so fucking close. I'm like your dad's friend that comes over and tells you about the time that he almost went to the NFL. That was me with Apex. I almost went pro. I was so fucking good at that game. I loved it. The fast pace, the sliding, the mechanics, the movement system. The movement had its own fucking meta, and the proper ways to get around fast, the proper ways to explore, the proper ways to, peek things, the optimal equipment. Just so many small things that made Apex great, aside from its great crisp gunplay. It was such, and to be fair, it still is a very tight and fluid, fast, fun game. And let me clarify, I don't think every game needs to be updated every 3 days to add something new or some goofy skin or emote or some shit like that. But in Apex Legends' case, there was a lot of game breaking being a little exaggeratory. There were a lot of important bugs that weren't addressed for months and just existed in the game for a long time. The lobbies were really laggy, game would crash. It had a lot of issues that were not addressed, and they let it persist for way too long. That's why it started to stagnate and die. I just wanted to clarify. But Apex Legends absolutely deserves the 4th spot on this list. Moving on to number 3. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Resident Evil 2 Remake redefines what it means to be a fucking remake. This game reinvented the word. For a while, remake or HD remaster meant fucking nothing. It meant maybe they improved the graphics very minimally, or they improved the look of a single box in level 4. But when Resident Evil 2 Remake came out, this is a fucking true remake. This game is visually stunning. It looks fantastic, so upgraded, so modern, so much fun. The game plays super great. And I'm one of the people that wasn't so personally attached to Resident Evil 2. There was no huge nostalgia for me. I'd played it, but it wasn't the best thing in the world to me. And when I heard they were remaking it, I didn't rip off my shirt and start twirling it over my head like I was at like a goddamn college football game or something. I was cautiously optimistic it'd be fun, but I was blown away. Completely stunned by how much effort went into it and how much I enjoyed it. The game was spectacular, and it makes me super excited for Resident Evil 3 Remake now. And I don't think I ever played Resident Evil 3. But anyway, great game. Can't recommend it enough. One of the most fun games of the year, which is obviously why it's on this list. I think all of the old school mechanics held up really well in the modern day, made it challenging, made it fun, kept you engaged, kept you on your toes, and really brought back that feeling of what it means to play a game that makes you think and a game that actually challenges you. It was a really fun experience. Moving on to number 2, the second best game of 2019, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Also, fun little trivia fact for those of you playing fucking Jeopardy or something at home. This is the second Respawn Entertainment game that makes the top 5 best games of the year list. Really impressive work from Respawn this year. Very talented people there. Jedi Fallen Order bangs. This game is incredible. Not only is the gameplay extremely fun and addicting, its story was extremely surprising. It was really well written, well constructed, paid very much respect to the Star Wars property and established canon. It didn't break any rules, didn't violate shit, didn't fuck any characters in the ass or do anything crazy. It was like what Star Wars Cinematic Universe could have been in terms of its writing. Should have fucking had Respawn Entertainment write the new movie. The story was a real highlight and a real shock. I was expecting the gameplay to be mediocre like Dark Souls Mobile. I thought it was just going to be a Dark Souls inspired clone that was really light on the challenge and light on the mechanics, but it wasn't. It was clearly inspired by Dark Souls and Sekiro, but it made it its own and had its own unique identity that worked really well with the force powers that you could integrate into the combat, and it felt very, very fun, rewarding. Some of the fights were extremely challenging, and I played on the highest difficulty, and that made it significantly more fun. It was always a absolute blast anytime you got in a boss battle with another lightsaber wielder, a Sith. The lightsaber battles and the boss battles were some of the highlights of all boss battles I had this year. This shit was visually beautiful. You had these like crazy choreographed, well, not choreographed obviously, but you had these crazy moves going on. You do this combo, they block it, fucking force push you, throw a rock at you, you dodge it off to the right, you fucking, it's had so much going on. That was such an orgasm for your eyes to behold in this arena of force showdown. I loved it. I absolutely loved Jedi Fallen Order. I loved everything about that game. And I was shocked to say that because I didn't think I'd ever like a Star Wars game to this level. But this was quite the surprise. The number one game of the year, I think, is going to be a no surprise to anyone who knows me. It's Sekiro. I love Sekiro. I love Dark Souls games. I love Souls-like games. Neo is my favorite. And Sekiro is falling into that category, but with its own very unique personality to it. It has a very different mechanical style. The gameplay is wildly different from the other ones. It's almost, in a certain sense, a rhythm game about the right times to parry, blocking, when to strike, how many hits to get in there before you get the fuck out, before they punish you for it and block your shit and make you feel bad. It was just so nice. I also really loved all of the visuals. The setting I thought was just superb. I'm a sucker for that kind of setting anyway. But they had these really nice boss battles and set pieces, and I just loved it. Every single fight had you going in there on edge because you never knew how hard they were going to fuck you. You'd go into a room, you'd see a pretty tall enemy or something, you're like, yep, I got to clench my cheeks because I don't want to get fucked that hard. I'm down for a little ass pounding, but it needs to feel respectful, and it constantly happened. Every mini-boss would give you a run for your money. There was no pushovers in this game, and I loved it from start to finish. The true ending final boss, the Sword Saint, was probably one of the toughest boss battles I've ever had, and that's quite the compliment because I usually steamroll these boss battles, being the kind of alpha omega gamer that I am. I never really struggle with that kind of shit, but the fucking Sword Saint was eating my lunch. He was just ripping my cock off for like 2 hours, I think it took me. I don't remember now, but it was a long one. Rode hard and put away wet by the end of that. It was just such a great game, and definitely one of the most memorable games I've played in years, to be honest. Loved it, top to bottom. Sekiro absolutely deserves the number one spot. Thanks for tuning into this year's Moisties. I'd recommend all 5 games on here if you haven't tried any of them out. And yeah, fuck yeah. The great game, a great year for gaming overall. I think the games were really great, and it was hard to pick 5. But these 5, I think, definitely shine the brightest. So yeah, that's it, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Moisties Best Games of 2019. See ya.
Initiating moisture.
What the fuck is up, Sod and Superstars? Last week we covered the 5 biggest shitties of 2018 in the video game world. Today we're looking at the 5 best games of 2018. It's the Moisties, bitch. We're back at it again, so let's just go ahead and start this right now. I hope you've got your condom on. Number 5, Return of the Obra Dinn. It takes only a quick glance at this game to immediately stimulate your wiener, because the art style is absolutely beautiful. Catching even just a glimpse, the slightest sneak peek from like the fucking lock screen of your phone, you'd immediately say, wow. It's like Harry Potter's Chamber of Secrets where you don't look at the basilisk because you'll turn to stone. Well, in this case, the basilisk is the art style, and you want to be fucking staring at that thing constantly because it'll make you ejaculate. And the gameplay here is like nothing I've ever played before. It puts you in the role of a man trying to solve the mystery as to what happened on the Obra Dinn, which is a ship. When I first went into the game, I was thinking it'd be about pirates and like Jack Sparrow comes out of nowhere and, farts and somehow the day is saved. But it's a really interesting story that's a lot of fun to piece together. It's all about figuring out what happened to each and every person aboard the Obra Dinn. It's got monsters, demons, conflict amongst each other, and it's a really great story to watch unfold. And oftentimes you really have to put in your thinking butt plug in order to solve some of the puzzles and piece together what happened to certain crew members, because a lot of times you have to think pretty obtuse and take little context clues from other parts of the other passengers' stories. It's really well done. It doesn't just tell you what happened to them. You have to go out of your way and solve it the same way a fucking Sherlock Holmes would. It's really well done. It's a lot of fun. Number 4, Detroit Become Human. By far David Cage's best work. This game has so many fucking paths that you could go down throughout the story. It is incredible. I was expecting another pretty lackluster narrative-driven game, but this one blew me away. It tells a fantastic story with an incredible cast of characters. There's very few characters in here you won't care about. Like, there's some little ass dusters you won't give a shit about, but for the most part, every character you're gonna have some type of investment in. It's a very fucking good story, really well written, and every character is pretty fleshed out, and it really does give you a plethora of options to choose, so it really feels like you're crafting your own experience that's going to be entirely unique from someone else's playthrough. And that's a really special thing, because oftentimes in games like the Telltale series, the choices are always going to ultimately lead to the same outcome for the most part, say for a couple details like, my friend Rick Plubins chose to drink Coke, but at that point I chose to drink the glass of raw sewage, so now Clementine threw up in my playthrough, but she did not throw up in his playthrough, and we still end up at the same area. In this game, that doesn't happen. You can completely end a chapter almost immediately because you chose something that ended it soon. You chose something like an easy way out, and then you don't get a whole lot else. You don't get a whole lot of the story. You can have characters die off early, and you don't get to see them at the end of the game. There's just so much that can happen in Detroit Become Human and change the narrative in a pretty big way. Smash Bros. Ultimate. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate to me is the best in the series, and that's not easy to say since I am a huge Melee fan who played the fuck out of Melee. Albeit not at the highest level. I wasn't going to big tournaments and global world championships for Smash Melee with a fucking sweatband, G Fuel IV, and Gunner gaming glasses, but I did play a lot of it, and I would consider myself above the average troglodyte when it comes to Smash Melee. So saying Ultimate is better than Melee is a big statement coming from me, but I think it truly deserves it. This game delivers everything you would want from Smash. It combines all of the best parts of every Smash game in my opinion, including every single character that's ever been in it, which is super fucking cool to see. And like I said in the Moist meter for this game is not as fast or technical as Melee, but I don't mind that at all. I'm sorry for the lack of professionalism. I just got a call from Post Malone begging to host this year's top 5 games of 2018 for the Moisties, but unfortunately, as you can see, Post Malone, it's a little too late. But feel free to reach out to me on Twitter and perhaps we can work on scheduling it for the next Moisties. Now, I'd like to reiterate, this game is absolutely outstanding, but I'm going to throw a complaint in there right now, which I think is a little out of character for a best games list, but I can't bitch and whine about this enough. Nintendo, stop living in the fucking 1980s with your primitive, archaic, online compatibility design. Holy shit. Fix your fucking network. The online is insufferable at times when it comes to lag, and it's just so bad. Paying $20 a year for peer-to-peer connection that's just so haphazardly thrown together and so full of shit. No Ethernet port built into the fucking machine. It is so goddamn awful. Fix your shit, Nintendo. God, this game would be so much better if the online functioned consistently well instead of sucking shit half the time. Great game though. Easily deserving of the number 2 spot, but fuck you, Nintendo, for your awful online services. Moving on to number 1, God of War. A game that on paper seems like a really ill-advised idea to completely change the formula of an established successful franchise, but that's exactly what this game did. It completely butt-fucked everything we thought we knew about God of War, changed the gameplay, changed the formula and the storytelling in a big way, not just subtle changes, completely different from the other entries into the series, and it did it so well. Everything just worked. The gameplay was satisfying. I do believe some of the enemies got pretty repetitive, but it was always fun to just pummel those bitches. Every boss encounter was pretty fucking nice for the most part. Beautiful to look at. A fantastic narrative with some unforgettable scenes like that first boss fight. Holy shit.
That first boss fight was perhaps the single best elite gamer moment of 2018. That entire first encounter was just so well done and super fun to play. Full throttle, nuts to butts, right out the get-go of the game. It was fantastic. The perfect way to start that game. And not only does the game tell a fantastic narrative with some really enjoyable gameplay, it has an incredible soundtrack. A really fucking good soundtrack that I enjoyed start to finish. There really just weren't any awful moments in God of War. There was nothing bad. There were some tedious parts for sure, but the game, for the most part, was a beautiful experience and a super unique, memorable one that I cannot believe came from the God of War franchise. Which I do like God of War games, the previous ones, but this one is so far above them, it's wild now. Absolutely great game, easily deserving of the top spot on the Moisties. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to the Moisties, and remember, dreams can be more than just dreams. They can be wet dreams. Take it easy, everyone. See ya.
Game of the Year: Stray, Xenoblade, Horizon, Ragnarok, Elden Ring, Plague Tale. So I really like Stray. That has no chance. Didn't play Xenoblade 3. I know it has a really very enthusiastic community on Twitter who very much doesn't like Donkey. Plague Tale I still haven't finished, but I really like Plague Tale. And Horizon I also didn't finish, but I do enjoy it. I haven't picked it up because unfortunately this came out right before Elden Ring, which was actually just suicide. That was Horizon Forbidden West getting fed a bullet right to the brain. Absolutely terrible release time for that game. I love Ragnarok and I love Elden Ring. Like I said, I think Elden Ring is just so close to the perfect game. I have to give it to Elden Ring. I think God of War overall is like a cleaner experience though, overall, and just a genuine masterpiece, but I'm going Elden Ring for this. Elden Ring is just the culmination of everything they learned from all of the Souls games put into one amazing package. Best game direction. What is Immortality? So, Stray, God of War, Elden Ring. This one I think God of War's got for sure. I think God of War wins this 10 out of 10 times here. They ruined Kratos. I've seen that from a couple people on Twitter, and I think it's the most brain-dead shit ever. I think what they did with Kratos' character is beyond smart and masterfully crafted. They took a character whom we've grown up with angry, mad, always alone, hateful, everything. And they transformed him and humanized him and made him like atone every step of the way in a way that felt natural and earned. So even something as simple as a smile, his first canon smile in this game, was enough to elicit like an emotional response from me. Because it actually felt earned. Like, I think they did an incredible job with his character. As opposed to just make him one-dimensional and flat, they fleshed out a fucking Giga Chad. So good. And every line he has is great. I still think about that "death can have me when it earns me" line. Like, his shit is profound. To a point where I don't think he's, like, smart, but, like, he's not a dumb, stupid caveman like he was in God of War 1 through 3. Even though, of course, I am a huge fan of the original trilogy. Especially 3. I think 3 is still the most hype in the entire series. But I think Ragnarok is the best overall. Best narrative. Oh, I mean, this is God of War. This is a God of War landslide. I don't even need to look at the other ones, honestly. I do like Plague Tale, but that's God of War. That's just absolutely God of War all fucking day. Best art direction. I really like Scorn's art direction. I don't like the game overall. I think the game is remarkably disappointing. I think the combat is terrible. They should have just not even bothered putting the gunplay in there because it's an affront to God. That shit is criminal, how awful the gunplay is. They should have just made it all puzzles and exploration because the atmosphere is great. The art direction is amazing. I just don't know if it's better. I am very much considering Stray too, but I don't know. I'm really on the fence. Stray, I feel like I've seen that style done quite a few times before. Scorn, there is nothing else like it. It's very unique. It has a distinct identity. That H.R. Geiger is really slapping. I actually think I will give this one to Scorn. I just wish the game itself was better. I think Scorn wins it. I think Scorn earns it, to be honest. I can't think of another game that looks even remotely similar to Scorn. That's got to be worth something, how unique it was and what they carved out with it. Best score in music, it's absolutely criminal that Sonic Frontiers isn't here. I'm not even memeing. The OST for Sonic Frontiers, it goes so hard. It actually pops off. I can't believe that's not here. It would have been a shoo-in for me. Didn't play Neon White, couldn't opine there. Maybe Neon White slaps too, but man, the fact that Sonic got snubbed here, like, I would be an angry Sonic fan on Twitter right now. They overlooked it. What a shame. So in the absence of Sonic, it's either God of War or Metal Hellsinger for me. I love the score to God of War. I think I'm going to give it to God of War. God of War's score is just so good. Didn't play Gran Turismo 7. I can't even consider Horizon Forbidden West since I didn't finish it. COD. Yeah, I don't think it's going to COD. I don't recall the campaign having great in-game audio and sound design off the top of my head. The voice acting and shit was good, but I don't think that's going to be sound design. One earbud only. Yeah, maybe I missed a lot of it. People really seem to think COD should win this one. Yeah, Elden Ring shouldn't be here. I don't know why they even put Elden Ring here for in-game audio and sound design. There's nothing like super special there. I agree with you there. It's between Call of Duty and God of War, but the only reason I'm considering Call of Duty is because chat really seems to think that campaign had crazy audio design, whereas I personally don't remember it super well. So I'm just gonna... This feels so unfair with how much I'm just putting onto Ragnarok, but really in every measurable aspect, I find the game to be amazing. I maybe one of these two earns it more, but I haven't played this one and I haven't finished this one. So I'm just going to give it to God of War Ragnarok again. Best performance. This is this is so fucking silly. It's going to be all God of War Ragnarok. Oh, it's actually just going to be all God of War fucking Ragnarok. How can you ever go against Christopher Judge in this category? Like even his picture here is so sweet. Like, he just looks like such a nice, kindred soul. Like, just so wholesome. You would never expect his voice to be so commanding and fucking sultry. It's Christopher Judge, obviously. Games for Impact. I don't know any of these. I'll toss it to whatever I think has the best cover, and it's Citizen Sleeper. Best ongoing. Oh, Genshin, Fortnite, Final Fantasy, Destiny, and Apex. I know all these. I play all these. Well, not actively. I have played all these. I feel like it should probably be Final Fantasy 14. They do a really great job with player feedback from what I understand in that game. One of the few that takes it into consideration like Final Fantasy. Remember when Final Fantasy 14 popped off so hard they literally ran out of keys? God, that's adorable. I think the bet here is Final Fantasy 14. I'm interpreting this as like ongoing support based on community, like support the community actually wants as opposed to bad updates no one's asking for. And I don't think Final Fantasy is disappointing in that regard, so I'm giving it to Final Fantasy. Best indie. Haven't played Cult of Lamb, heard great things. Haven't played Neon White, heard amazing things. Love Sifu, love Stray, haven't played Tunic. This is tough. I really like both Sifu and Stray. Like, I love the ass beating of Sifu, but I also really liked just the world and story of Stray. It was so cute. Fuck, I can't decide. My gut's saying Stray. I think I'm gonna have to go with Stray here. Maybe now my cold heart's just been warmed up since I have a cat now. Maybe old Charlie would have given it to Sifu back when I was still the hairy-chested, grizzled muscle man. But now I'm a cat owner. Probably suffering from toxoplasmosis. Haven't played Apex Mobile, haven't played Diablo Immortal. I think Genshin's good. I haven't got super into Marvel Snap yet, but from what I've played, I've liked it so far. And Tower of Fantasy was good. It's between those three. But I wouldn't say I'm like a power player of either of these three. Genshin's community would probably eat me alive, though, if I didn't vote for it here. Like, in between posting porn, they just start attacking people, so I'll just play it safe and do Genshin. Best community support. For outstanding community support, transparent. Oh, so this is the category that I thought ongoing support was. I probably still would have given it to Final Fantasy anyway. This one's obviously Final Fantasy, I think. Innovation and accessibility. Oh, a lot of people are saying No Man's Sky. I know No Man's Sky turned it around recently, but do they have like ongoing community support? That would be news to me. I'm just not familiar enough with that. At least I'm moderately familiar with Final Fantasy XIV. I don't know this one. The Corey was enjoyably bad. Like, it was fun, silly bad. I don't know about its accessibility. God of War forces an accessibility mode on you with non-stop backseat gaming. That's quite innovative and extremely frustrating. Don't know what they did for Last of Us Part 1, and I didn't play Return to Monkey Island. Guess The Last of Us. Did they do any? I'll just take your word for it. I'll do The Last of Us. I see a lot of people are saying it did a lot, so I'll do Last of Us. Best VR/AR. Well, I haven't played any of these except Bone Lab, and I've only played like 15 seconds of Bone Lab. Among Us is gonna win. I don't even know what the point is in even voting for anything else. Among Us is just gonna sweep. I'll just give it to Among Us. Best action game. Okay, here we go. Things are getting a little wacky. Bayonetta 3, Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Was this a rough year for action games or something? Bayonetta and Sifu are the only two I think should be here. Isn't there a category for shooters? Why is Call of Duty here? I think the answer is Bayonetta 3. I love Bayonetta 3. I think it's definitely better than Sifu. I like Sifu a lot, but Bayonetta 3 is much better. And I haven't played Neon White to be able to give a full opinion there, but people love that game. And I don't know anything about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. I think this one's Bayonetta 3 all day. Best action adventure. I mean, God of War. It's obvious. Best role playing. Isn't that crazy? Arceus came out this year, and we just got Scarlet and Violet. That is still just so fucking wild to me. I mean, obviously Elden Ring, though. These are just kind of redundant categories. Best fighting game. Sifu. Why is Sifu here? Did we not have 5 fighting games that came out this year? Clearly not, because they dropped in the new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game, a game that literally doesn't even work on Steam right now. One of the few games I had to refund after trying it. Like, I'm sure this game had potential to be good, but it is in a fucking awful state. At least when I played it on launch. This one's Multiversus for me, though. I like Multiversus. Kirby was fun. Skywalker Saga was fine. Didn't play this. Only played like a little of this and barely played any of this. The only one that I actually put like meaningful time into was Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I liked Kirby. It was cute. I'm gonna give that to Kirby. This shit was so wholesome. Best sim strategy game. I didn't play any strategy games this year. I might just give it to Total War because I like Total War. Best sports and racing. Well, I didn't play any of those this year. Well, actually, that's not true. I did play NBA 2K 2023. Charles White came out of retirement. 5'7" Charles White superstar. Give it to Gran Turismo, please. Sure. I mean, it's not like NBA deserves it. I mean, 2K is fucking awful. It's so lazy and so scummy. Best multiplayer. Modern Warfare, Multiversus, Overwatch, Splatoon, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Actually a tough category for me. Modern Warfare 2 is like super relaxed and casual, and like I do enjoy it despite some of its problems. Multiversus, same. Very fun to kick back, casual, clap cheeks. Overwatch 2, also same. In fact, of all of these games here, I've put the most time into Overwatch 2. And I like it, in spite of its problems. Do I think it's the best multiplayer game right now? Tough to say. I think probably Modern Warfare 2. But that... In order to feel comfortable giving my vote to Modern Warfare 2, they need to promise me they're going to fire whoever designed their UI. Their new UI is absolutely awful. It's miserable, and whoever made it needs to be let go of this company like today. I'm already kind of regretting it. Because I feel like I've been having more fun with Overwatch 2 than Modern Warfare 2. Whatever. I've already locked it in. No point in crying over spilled milk now. Content Creator of the Year. So I chat was really mad. I don't know Nebellion. I'm just unfamiliar with their work. I'm not familiar with Nobrew. So we got Carl, Ludd, and QT Cinderella. I think we all know where I'm going. I don't even need to explain. We already know. Best debut indie. Well, I mean, this is again kind of redundant. It's Stray. Best adaptation. Ooh, this is hype. Wait, this is actually super hype. I didn't see the Cuphead show. I don't even know why Uncharted's here. Like, it's a fine movie, I guess, but super forgettable, super generic, nothing special. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, movie kind of goes in. But Edgerunners and Arcane, that is so tough. Like, an actual difficult category to choose. That is genuinely difficult. I don't know, man. Fuck. They're so drastically different from each other, too. There's a blue pube hairs, tits, nipples, blood, gore. This is much more, like, safe for anyone to watch. And they're both so good. They're both so fucking good. They couldn't be more different. Oh my god. This is the biggest divide since my left and right butt cheek. I don't know where to go. I am really caught in this conundrum. I think I'm leaning towards Arcane. I think I'm going Arcane. Final answer. I think what Arcane did was so incredibly special. I think I'm doing Arcane. I'm doing it. I can't look back now. Most anticipated game? It's between Resident Evil 4 and Zelda. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, but I'm not coming in with like major expectations here. I think for me personally, it's going to be Zelda. I like the Resident Evil remakes. I think they do a great job with it, even though 3 was only like 2 hours long, but Zelda's significantly more anticipated for me. Best esports game. Oh, this one's actually tough for me too. I've been getting really hard into CSGO again. Like, CSGO has been so fucking hype. I didn't keep up with Dota this year. I didn't keep up with League much this year. Valorant died for me with franchising, so I didn't even bother. So it's between Rocket League and Counter-Strike. Rocket League, obviously, I've been extremely passionate about because of Moist Esports. In fact, I flew for the first time in 6 years because of Rocket League to go to the RLCS World Championship for Moist Esports. It's Rocket League. It's Rocket League for me. I am a big fan of Counter-Strike, but it's Rocket League. Best esports athlete? Oh, this one's pretty good too. Simple or Faker? Fuck. That's tough for me. I really liked Simple at the most recent major. I liked that he leaned into being the villain. Maybe a bit far with giving the finger. Fair. I know a lot of people are mad about that, but I still think that's fine. I think every game needs a villain. Like, I think it makes it a lot more fun with the storylines. I love when he stood up, put his hands on his ears, you know, get leading into it. I love that attitude. And I've always been a big Simple fan. But Faker, bro. Faker is just iconic. Oh, it's so hard. I'll let chat vote on it, actually. Can you just run like a 60-second poll for Simple or Faker? I won't put this one on me. Not on my conscience. I'll let chat decide it. Okay. Faker one. That one's off my conscience. That's on you guys if you're gonna get mad about it. That's a chat decision. Thanks to Risa Bruxman. Best esports team. Moist Esports got snubbed this year. Unlucky. I'll give it to Dark Zero. Score easily. Okay. One guy said score easily, so I'm fine with that. Best esports event. Evo. But it was really lame not having Smash at Evo. Like, I still think Evo was great this year, but not having Smash was fucking stupid. Worlds also had an incredible storyline. No, definitely not Valorant. I didn't, like I said, I lost interest once the franchising thing came out. In fact, this trophy even celebrates it. Just this volcanic eruption of dog shit with the franchising decision. It's fucking dumb. I think I'm gonna go Evo. I watched a lot of Evo this year, and I really liked it. We're doing Evo. And we did well at Evo, Moist Esports. Alright, I got all my votes in. A few weeks ago on stream, I made a list of my top 20 favorite games, which I eventually extended to top 50, so I was kind of dweebing out and just gushing grannies over some of my favorite titles. And that's when I learned, with a rude awakening, a lot of people have this thought process that your favorite things have to be the objectively best things or else it's garbage. So there was a lot of people disappointed that my top 20 favorite games didn't match the top 20 highest rated Metacritic games. I just think that's super stupid. I also think it's really boring. If you're someone whose 5 favorite games are just the 5 highest on Metacritic, or your 5 favorite movies are just the Rotten Tomatoes top 5, that's super lame. Like, your favorite thing does not have to be the thing everyone agrees is the best. For example, my favorite movie is The Mummy. Is The Mummy the best movie ever made and everyone agrees that it is? Yes. Yes, it is. But that's very rare. Point is, my favorite games aren't just in order of the best games ever created or anything, and a lot of it has to do with nostalgia and what the games made me feel at the time. I think there's a lot more factors that go into what makes something your favorite as opposed to how objectively good something is. So with that in mind, I want to just show you my list here, and I want to make a special mention, something that ruffled a lot of feathers. There's 2 areas on the list where I clump things together, specifically for Final Fantasy, because I can't choose a favorite Final Fantasy between 7, 8, 9, and 10. Those games are all so unbelievably near and dear to my soul, I would not be able to choose which one's my favorite, so I'll have them all occupy the same spot. And then I do the same thing for Elden Ring and Bloodborne. I cannot choose which one I like more, so they also occupy the same spot. You can eat my whole asshole about it. You can suck the dirtiest fart out of my butt. I don't care. I know it's kind of cheating on a top 50s list or whatever. I don't care. It's my list. It's my rules on it. 1 through 4 is really easy. I've talked about them a lot. Number 1 is absolutely City of Heroes. We've known that. I think it is an unbelievably good MMO. It unfortunately got its lunch eaten by World of Warcraft. They came out around the same time, so a lot of people never even found this game. But it is truly one of the only unique MMOs that doesn't just follow the same tried and true formula that WoW crafted. And since the private servers are fully functional and constantly updated, I can confidently say it's a game that has still aged really well and is fun to play to this day. Would any game ever beat City Heroes for you? Probably not. I don't think. The nostalgia is too powerful. The game means too much to me. I don't think it'll be beaten. In the number 2 spot, we have Halo 2. My most played competitive game ever. Still, I think this game is a complete masterpiece of multiplayer gaming. A lot of what made this game so special was actually by accident too. So even some of the things like super bouncing, I'd spend hours on, just doing super bounces and monster bounces and shit. Then there's also like some really deep skill expression glitches such as BXR and BYBs, stuff like that.
The main purpose of this video is to help those of you guys who might not understand much about Halo 2 get a better understanding of the game
I'll check it out
and the
then,
skill
Ryan.
gap. I know how frustrating it is when players speak so highly of a game that you know nothing about. If you don't have much
God,
experience
even
with
just watching gameplay of Halo 2 just always makes me want to hop back in and play it. You have a couple deleted super bounce videos. Yep, I used to do it all the time.
There was entire montages. Oh yeah, they still have some of them. This is probably a re-upload. But it's just cool. It was such a, like, fun glitch. And even the glitch had skill expression to it. Because as you're seeing here, you could combo bounces if you knew them and knew how to do them and how to set them up. It's just so cool, man. So even though, like, the base game of Halo 2 was a masterpiece in and of itself, the other things that were accidental, like the super bounces, like the BXBs, the BXRs, all that, just add even more to it, more replayability. And the modding. The modding community was hot. Texture mods, full gameplay mods. Oh, it was so good. And the custom games you could just get lost in for hours. Like Tower of Power, Michael Myers, all kinds of shit. I truly think this is still to date the most special multiplayer game. The most special multiplayer experience I've ever had. So that's comfortably number 2 on my top 20 list. Number 3, we talked about it the other day. It's got to be RuneScape. Old school RuneScape specifically. I never even bothered with RuneScape 3. It is just actually timeless. It is my most played game of all time. Across all of my accounts, I think I have close to probably like 10,000 hours, roughly. On my main account right now that I maxed a couple years ago, I have, 4,000 hours on just that alone. There's just nothing like it. It is actually just the GOAT. Use topsters.org for the list. It's a great site. Sounds like a scam. Topsters? Sounds like an auction I'd watch on Whatnot before losing all my Pokemon card packs. Number 4 spot goes to Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10. I can't choose one of these over the other, so I put all of them in my number 4 spot. All 4 of them make it in my number 4 spot. Number 4, Final Fantasy. We'll just have 7 be here, but just know this represents... Oh, wait, here. Do they have, like... a crazy collage? No. They have this, though. Just know this represents Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10. Honestly, this might go Elden Ring / Bloodborne. Rank them all, you coward. I'm not gonna do that, man. I literally can't choose. That's not fair. It's my fucking list. Just let me have it. Who are you? The top 20 police or something? It's my list. Gears of War. Yeah, I'm kind of torn if I'm going to go Elden Ring Bloodborne over Gears of War. That's kind of where I'm stuck right now. I do like Elden Ring and Bloodborne more than Gears of War, so I'm going to do that. This one I'll divide it. But just know they occupy the same spot in the top 5. Gears literally started your career. Yeah, but I still like Elden Ring and Bloodborne more as games. Keep in mind, the only Gears of War game that I absolutely love is the first one. I don't even really like Gears 2 or 3 that much. Making up your own rules. It's my fucking list! It's fine. Now this is where Gears of War will go. Just outside of the top 5. So this is number 6. Can I put them on the same square? No, it just swaps them. Go on Metacritic, highest rated games. Yeah, but some of my choices aren't going to be in the highest rated, but this will help me not miss any. Man, people always get so upset when I mention my Gears of War take. I think Gears of War is just perfect. It plays completely different from 2 and 3, and again, it's a product of just not overthinking it. The Gears of War multiplayer, from what I recall in the Cliff Bleszinski interview back in like 2008, it was an afterthought. Like, they didn't even plan on putting multiplayer in Gears of War initially, they did it just to ship it, because why not? So it had another set of things that made it so good that were totally unintended. Like, all of the silly fun glitches, like kung fu flipping, crab walking, skydiving, shit like that, zombie walking. And it was just extremely fun. Weapon sliding. A great story. Very bloody, very ahead of its time with its gore. It just, everything felt great about the game. Except for host advantage. That made it a little ridiculous. You know what number 7's probably going to be? Looking through it I really think I'm probably going to give it to Super Mario 64. I am going to give it to Super Mario 64. I put so much time into that game. I love Super Mario 64. Still one of the most fun platformers ever created. Maybe I will revisit the speedrun. I tried speedrunning it back in college. I'm just not good at it. And then number 8 will be Psychonauts. One of my favorite single-player games. An absolutely beautiful game. A game I also speedran a lot on stream. Great speedrun, great game. Extraordinary. You're on number 10? No, these two take the same spot. Elden Ring and Bloodborne are both tied at number 5. You can suck my fucking dick. We're doing clumps sometimes. I think number 9's gonna have to be Luigi's Mansion. I still remember, it's still a great game to this day, but I still remember how special it was on Christmas morning when I opened Luigi's Mansion in a GameCube. I'll give that number 9. Now number 10, this one's big. Number 10's gonna be very difficult for me. There's so many I think I could put there, but I think the one that I'm gonna ultimately end up putting there is probably God of War. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be God of War. I think I've got to give it to God of War. God of War 3 or God of War 2 through 18. Man, hold my Johnson. It's not fair. Yeah, I'm double checking. It's gonna be God of War 2018. I really like that game. Number 11, I think I've already locked in. I'm doing Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas, that was actually, when I made the unique weapons guide, and then the follow-up guide, those were the first time my channel ever got shared outside of YouTube. That was pre-Ray William Johnson. That shit was pretty special. And just an incredible game. That's in number 11, right? Number 12, I think I've already got locked in. Number 12 is going to be the first Nier. That game absolutely shocked me. That was during my achievement hunting era. I picked it up just off a whim, and it was so special. To date, still probably the best video game soundtrack ever. Expedition 33 is getting close to it, but still I think Nier squeaks it out. Amazing story, amazing atmosphere, amazing music, gameplay a little clunky, but I still don't think it's bad. It was still really fun. Love Nier. That was number 12, right? Number 13, I think I already know. Grand Theft Auto 4. I absolutely fucking love GTA 4. I don't even think I need to go into detail on GTA 4. I think a lot of people would probably put 5 over 4, but for me, I think I like 4 more. I am such a huge fan of 4. I spent so many hours just doing, like, cheats in it and just terrorizing the city like every kid does. Right now I'm torn between GoldenEye, Nintendo 64 GoldenEye, and Last of Us. First Last of Us. I guess it doesn't really matter if they go back to back. 13, 14, probably not a huge difference. I'll do 13 at GoldenEye. Well, actually, let's do Last of Us. Actually, I think I'd put Last of Us over it, the first one. And then 14, GoldenEye. My dad and I used to play GoldenEye together all the time. He still talks about GoldenEye. Whenever we get discussing video games, he's always like, "Hey bud, you remember when we used to play GoldenEye? That was a lot of fun, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, that shit slapped." Such an iconic game. GoldenEye was revolutionary for shooters. It actually was. It was legitimately revolutionary. It'd probably go higher, but I don't feel like trying to figure out where. But it would definitely be in my top 20. Let me see, what about PlayStation 1? Is there anything I haven't thought of there? No, just Final Fantasy, really. Siphon Filter, holy shit, I loved Siphon Filter. I had a demo disc that had Siphon Filter 2 on it. Oh my god, you couldn't pry me away from that shit. That game was so fun. You have the taser where you could shoot it at someone, fucking latches onto their nipples, and you just tase them until they catch on fire. God, that game was good. Definitely not in my top 20, though. Alright, nothing there. What about Sega Dreamcast? The only one on Sega that comes to mind right away is Power Stone, but I don't think that would make it to top 20. My dad and I used to play Power Stone together, too, though. He didn't really like it that much. Or Sonic Adventure. That was another banger. Probably not in my top 20.
Ratchet and Clank, another super slapper. Shadow of the Colossus. Oh! Damn, do they make top 20 though? Damn. Oh, Sly Cooper. Fuck. Wait, this is getting so hard. Shit. We only have 4 slots left. I don't even know how the fuck I'm gonna choose. There has to be some like glaringly obvious ones I'm forgetting. Maybe that's what I need to gauge it by. Surely there's some really obvious shit that I've talked about and glazed a lot over the years and just brain farting on. Mass Effect 2. I would put Mass Effect 2 here comfortably if Mass Effect 3 wasn't such dog nuts when it came out. And by that I mean the ending being completely worthless and ruining the entire journey. But I do love Mass Effect 2 a lot. Oh, you know what's kind of close? It might actually make it. Hollow Knight. Oh, I wasn't even thinking indie games. Hollow Knight might make... It might take number 17, actually. I fucking love Hollow Knight. I wasn't even thinking indie. Yeah, I gotta put Hollow Knight in there. That game was so fucking fire. 9 Souls. Yeah. That's what made me think of Hollow Knight, actually, because someone was dropping 9 Souls. I'm a huge 9 Souls advocate. You couldn't get me to stop yapping about that game. But I do still think Hollow Knight is, for me, a bit better just because it was like my first foray into that kind of indie Souls-like that actually crushed it. But overall, I think 9 Souls is a must-play, in general. Devil May Cry. I was thinking. I just don't know if it's in my top 20. Because my favorite Devil May Cry, controversial take, is DMC4. I think Devil May Cry 3 is objectively the better game, but Devil May Cry 4, once again, just a special game to me. Only 3 spots left for Expedition 33 to not be called a liar. I already know where Expedition 33 is going. I already thought that through. I just am torn on these last spots. This is so much harder than I thought it would be. Like, I knew it'd be difficult. My top 5 I'm very confident in. Like, I feel very strongly on these. And to be honest, I actually don't even mind swapping Gears and Elden Ring and Bloodborne, to be honest. That's so interchangeable to me. These I'm super locked in. It's everything else I get really foggy on where things should be. Cooking Mama, never played it. I've actually never been a Cooking Mama player. Chaos Theory's great. It's not my top 20 though. Right now what I'm thinking is, do I put Pokemon Leaf Green in? That is my favorite Pokemon game. But I don't know if it's like a top 20 best game ever for me, even though I put so many hours into Pokemon Leaf Green. Battlefield. Oh my god! How did I fucking forget? Bad Company 2. Absolutely in my top 20. Also one of my most played multiplayer games of all time. And also a very special game near and dear to my boners. Literally what started commentary for me. Completely forgot to even slot that in there. Good call. Big save. Fuck, man, there's still quite a few games that I think really should be here somewhere. But I have no way of making them fit. Any Call of Duty. Call of Duty 4 is my favorite Call of Duty, but it's not in top 20. I mean, I can just fill out this whole thing and it'd go up to top 25. I guess we could do that. For what it's worth, I guess, just to bring everyone in on the loop, I already know exactly where Expedition 33 goes. That's my... oh wow, really butchered that. That goes into my 20 slot. Well, which would actually be here, because I grouped these together. If we're going to 25, that makes it a little easier though, because there's a couple that I absolutely think need to be here. Most notably is this. Mario Kart 64 absolutely makes it into what I think needs to be the top 20. I remember being a kid, my mom actually used to play this with me and my dad, and anytime I'd win one of the circuits and they show you that, like, trophy, the fucking your winner, basically, I used to ask my parents when that's coming. I was under the impression that I was actually going to be shipped a fucking trophy from Nintendo. Double Dash better. I did love Double Dash, don't get me wrong, I fuck hard with Double Dash. Asura's Wrath. Definitely not top 25, but I do like Asura's Wrath a lot. Another thing that I like a lot that I don't think goes top 25 is Bayonetta.
and Darksiders before your eyes. Ooh, that's such a good call. Does that make top 25? Yeah, that game, that is the closest I've ever come to crying at a game. Well, crying at anything, really, as an adult, for, like, media. This game is so fucking special, man. Liza P. Yeah, I was thinking Liza P, too. Top 25 is, it just feels... Nah, I don't know, I think Liza P would comfortably go in there for me. I love Liza P. But I also don't know if I feel comfortable putting Liza P in there over Dark Souls 3. I don't know if that sits right with me. I'd have to really think. In a top 50, this shit becomes easy. I could blow that wide open. Any Resident Evil games make it. Closest one to making it would be Resident Evil 2 Remake. Well, definitely in the top 50, Ed. It's just there's only 3 slots left here, and I don't know what would go where. Like, there are absolutely games that need to be here in some capacity, I just don't know how. No, Half-Life 2's crazy. I've mentioned this before, and you can poo-poo me all you want for it. I was not, like, the biggest Half-Life 2 super fan. I thought it was fine. I thought it was fun. I wasn't one of those guys going ballistic on Reddit every couple days about it. No Bioshock makes a man sick. You want to know something that'll make you even more sick? If I was going to put a Bioshock game in here, it'd be Bioshock 2. I love Bioshock 2, and the multiplayer went fucking crazy for me. I love that. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Ooh, such a banger. Probably not top 25 though. Gears is already there, Adam. Tenchu. Love Tenchu Z. Not in top 25 though. You know what is going in top 25? Not a single one of you has mentioned this. So it didn't even register with me in time. Fucking StarCraft 2. That should actually be higher. The amount of hours I put into StarCraft 2. God, I love StarCraft. Plus the custom games in there. They went so hard. Tower defense in StarCraft 2 is still better than every other tower defense game that's ever come out. Retribution TD in StarCraft 2 customs. Vexel TD and God, what was the auto battler one? I can't remember. Then they also had things like Runling Run. They had some cool MOBA customs. StarCraft 2 for sure makes it in. 2 more slots in the top 25. I am really digging deep into the data banks. Like, I'm crunching hours spent on games right now. Warframe. I'm debating. Probably not in top 25. But if we were going by hours, Warframe would make it. This is top 24 according to your rules. You're so fucking right, I forgot. Yeah, top 24. Smash Bros. Insane not to be there. Yeah, I've been debating if I put Melee in it. Based on your Twitch stats, Ultimate is your most streamed game. Really? I have more hours streamed in Smash Ultimate than I do Fortnite? I figured it'd be Fortnite. Or Apex, for that matter. I have fucking 600 hours on Apex. Almost all of them are on stream. In the first season, preseason. Apex Legends is second. Yeah, I guess all the watch parties for the Smash Ultimate tournaments, yeah. I got it. Someone just said something tangentially related. Siege would not be in my top 25 or anything, but you know what is from Tom Clancy? Ghost Recon 2. Just normal Ghost Recon 2. I played the fuck out of this on Xbox Live. I still recall, and I've told this story before. Shit talking, I think I was 11 at the time for Ghost Recon 2. It was 10 or 11, something like that. Obviously, I'm talking a lot of trash. Some older dude comes on the mic, and my name was Fast Fighter back then. He said, "Fast Fighter, your mom's gonna get it hardcore tonight for you being a little asshole." And I panicked. I left. I went to my mom, tears in my eyes, told her that some guy said she's gonna get it hardcore tonight, and I was profusely apologizing. I thought he was coming to kill my mother. That shit was big for me. That was like a huge learning moment. This game slapped. Ghost Recon 2 went crazy. Did your mom laugh? My mom was horrified.
My mom thought that was so disgusting. You weren't a SOCOM player for PS2? I played SOCOM, but not actively. Knew it was going to be Ghost Recon. Yeah, it has to be. I put so many hours into that game. So fun. I love that game. Ooh! You know what? That actually might make it. Not enough people have put respect on that one. I think that goes in. Dead Space. The first Dead Space. I loved that game. That game felt so unlike anything else I had played up until that point. I feel comfortable putting that in there. I played through that campaign numerous times. I really liked Dead Space. Yeah, good call. That was like my first, like, scary game. Like, horror shooter kind of game. Other than, of course, like, Resident Evil. But those didn't hit the same to me as Dead Space. Dead Space over RE4 is wild. People have to remember, this is my list. Like, a lot of these objectively are not better than some of the other games, like Resident Evil 4, right? I get that, but these are the games that mean a lot to me and were, like, my favorites. And still hold very special places in my heart. It's not like an objective top 25 games list of all time. Because obviously City of Heroes isn't going to be number 1. Fucking RuneScape wouldn't be number 3. That's for damn sure. Undertale has to be there. Check this out. Hold on to your fucking wiener here. Get your fucking juice box ready. Didn't like Undertale. I wasn't a big Undertale guy. Using the same logic for Mass Effect, Dead Space shouldn't be there because of 3. Man, fuck you. It's my list, I can use whatever logic I want. Mass Effect 2, yeah, how about this? We know these two go together. How's this then? Oh wait, God, I have to remove each one individually. Never mind. I was just going to put those two together and then put Mass Effect 2 at 25. I'm not going through all the effort. Mass Effect 2 at number 25 then. Top 5 games of 2025 so far. Don't know about a top 5, but I'll give you top 2. Expedition 33 and First Berserker Kazan. Love the OG Battlefront games, yeah. Remove Expedition 33, it's just recency bias. Nope. It's actually not. I think that is a genuinely special game. And I've played countless games of similar variety. I think that game is extraordinary. Cuphead? Cuphead would definitely be top 50. Top 50 I think is easy. I think top 50 would be super easy. This just made it really hard. It felt very competitive. Because I don't even have Baldur's Gate in the top 25. And that's freeload top 50. You say that, yet once you get to 45, 50, you'll be doing this again? I doubt that I would. Because the order, at this point, the order actually just doesn't mean anything. They feel all kind of the same. So now I can just start dumping the ones that I know I want there. So Baldur's Gate, Alan Wake 1, Oblivion, Lies of P, Battlefront 2 original. What else was I really... Oh, Max Payne 3, Mass Effect. See, now this is just fucking free. Sly Cooper. What were the other ones that I was really stuck on? Smash Bros. Probably Bayonetta here. Pokemon Leaf Green. Nine Souls. Oh, you're right. We're running out of space quicker than I thought. Majora's Mask. Damn, you're absolutely right. We are running out of space far faster than I thought we would. Shit.
Okay, let me just do the absolute guarantees. Probably Hades. Yeah, I'll do Hades. I was gonna do Risk of Rain too, but I'm running out of space. Oh boy. Oh boy, I'm already running out of space. That was fast. I think Cuphead will definitely go here though. No, Cyberpunk wouldn't even come close to my top 50. Time to make top 100. See, top 100's easy. That's super easy. I thought top 50 would be even easier. Or, not even easier. I thought it'd be pretty easy. In my head, 25 games seems like a lot, but then I immediately start banging out the ones that I know for sure should be on my list, and I'm already almost out. League of Legends is not going on my top fucking 50. Just because I have a ton of hours in it doesn't mean that I like those hours. That game is an actual life ruiner. That game made me fucking miserable. Oh, Metal Gear Rising has to go on here. I love Metal Gear Rising. Fuck. I'm putting Arkham Asylum as well. Oh god, we actually are almost out of room. Yeah, fuck. Any Doom game? That's what I'm debating, if I throw Doom Eternal here. I think I do. I'm putting Doom Eternal here. Card games? None of the card games wouldn't make it here, I don't think. There hasn't been, like, a good enough version of my favorite card games to work. MTGA, rough. Duel Master, rough. Yeah, Sonic Adventure would definitely go top 50 on that for sure. You know what else is definitely going to have to be here? Mortal Kombat 9. My most played fighting game. Yeah, Red Dead. Yeah, Bioshock. 2 spots left. Is there anything glaring that I've missed? I feel like there definitely is. I don't know what I should put there. I already have like so many in my head right now, like God of War 3. Uncharted. Oh, there's too many. Okay, I thought this would be easier. Shadow of the Colossus, yeah. I'm definitely putting Shadow of the Colossus. That has to go here. That absolutely has to go here. I love that game so much. That game is beautiful. Oh, and there's still no Sekiro or anything. Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey has to go here. I'll give the last one a Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey absolutely needs to be there. There's still so many games that are missing from it though, but whatever. I kind of just like mag dumped going through here thinking I had a lot more room and a lot more space than I did. But whatever. Fuck it. Might as well go top 100. No, then it truly loses all meaning. Then we get literally every game ever that I just really like a lot. This one feels like there was still a fight even in the tail end of the 25. No, Neo. No, I love Neo, but I guess not. Oh, I don't even have Red Faction Gorilla on here. Holy shit, what a disaster. Truly, what a disaster. Oh, I didn't even get my Red Faction Gorilla on. No, Nier is crazy. Brother, Nier's right here. Interesting, you only had 2 FromSoft games here. That's the thing. Like, I absolutely like Sekiro in Dark Souls 1 more than a lot of the games I started putting in the top 50. But my mind was wandering to places other than that. That's the thing. The list started losing a lot of meaning there. We started to really fall off the wagon. The Space Marine 1. Nah, if I was going to put a Space Marine game on there, it'd be Space Marine 2. It Takes Two is missing as well. Oh, Jesus, yeah. That's another one. A lot harder than you thought it would be. Yeah. In my defense, though, the main thing I ever really mention is my top 4. This, I am so confident in. I also don't know if this will ever change. I don't know if it can change. These games are just so locked into me. They all just mean so much, and nostalgia is an incredible factor in that. I don't think there's anything that could beat these 4 for my lists. Everything after that, it's all cattywampus. It goes tits up. I don't know how to organize into that. It then just becomes games from a ton of different genres that I really like some of my favorites. Yakuza games, pretty nostalgic. I wouldn't say they're nostalgic for me. I actually never really got deep into a Yakuza game until a couple of years ago. If you want a nostalgic game like that not enough people talk about, Stranglehold. I was really debating throwing Stranglehold in there towards the end, but it just wouldn't feel right going over some of the others I started tossing in. Army of Two was so good. The first Army of Two was great. Agreed.